T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I don't want to scare anyone, but I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason. His body was never recovered from the lake after he drowned.
You let him drown. You should have been watching him.
Have you listened to the old timers in town? They'll tell you he's still out there, stalking. Some folks claim they've even seen him right in this area.
Jason, he came back.
See, Jason was my son, and today is his birthday.
He was actually there. He watched his mom being beheaded.
You need to be punished for what you did to him.
Jason should have been watched every minute.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her. Don't let her get away, Mommy.
He wasn't a very good swimmer.
Ooh, baby. 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 Ooh, baby.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Movies and Beyond. Once again, I am Michael, and today, well, shit, it's the morning. Good morning, everyone. I know I sound horrible, but it's just fine. I'm here. I made it. I saw the text as I was getting stuff together. Thank you, all you good people that are texting me to make sure I'm awake. Jerry, it's looking at you, buddy. Yes, I am up. I am here. I am on more medication than I have no idea, a lot, to get this done, but I wanted to be here. Sunday was not possible whatsoever. Today, barely. We are doing Horror Talk and Coffee today. Unfortunately, I am kind of a liar. I am not drinking coffee today. Normally I would be, but it's hot tea right now. Okay, this is what I'm drinking this morning. So the first one, you know, it can sorry about that. The first one, you know, it can be a little rough around the edges, right? But you know, it's whatever. What's up, you good people? Good morning. Good morning. It's been a minute since I've actually even talked to anyone, so I'm very happy just to be talking to someone. But let me go through the chat here. We got quite a few things to talk about. I'll get to that in a minute. Let me see who we got in the chat. I see Jerry Wilson is in the chat saying, hello, Michael. Good morning. Hello, Jerry. Good morning to you, sir. He's also saying, please smash that like button and leave a comment after the show. Yeah, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of these morning shows, because this is definitely my first morning show, and I'm kind of curious to see how this goes. Jerry has also dropped a consider joining Movies and Beyond on Patreon. He drops the link right there. Thank you for that, Jerry. And he's also thrown a link for the merch shop. Jerry, you are busy, my friend. You are busy. Thank you very much for that. And I appreciate it. Yeah, check out all those links that Jerry's thrown up there. I appreciate it. Good morning, Jerry. I hope you're doing well, sir. Val from Val's Views is in the chat saying, good morning, y'all. Good morning, Val. The General is in the chat, and the General always gets a salute from Movies and Beyond. If I mute this every now and then, it's me coughing. I don't want to cough into the microphone. I'm doing my best. So if I miss a mute button or something, I apologize ahead of time. But good morning, Val. I hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope that you are doing well. Mr. Rick is in the chat as well, saying good morning, all. This should be fun. I'm always off Wednesday, so this works great. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. Happy Wednesday, Mr. Rick. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Let's see. Who else do I have in the chat? Lydia's in the chat saying, howdy ho, mofos. What's up, Lydia? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you here. Good to see you here on this Wednesday morning. Peter Anthony from Peter Anthony Productions is in the chat as well, saying, let's effing rock. I love daytime shows, man. Well, I mean, I'm not, shit, I don't even know a daytime show anymore. Like, does Maury Povich still do a show? Donahue? All Oprah? Are those the morning people still? I mean, I'm dating myself here a little bit, but we're gonna throw Movies and Beyond in the mix. I'm sure there's a whole nother group of people that was probably 30 years ago. The people that did the daytime shows back then. So yeah, a little outdated there for sure. Let's see. Do I got anybody else in the chat that is talking? Oh, I see Jacob Ware is in the chat as well. Oh, I lost it. Saying who should play the new Jason in the new reboot? Oh yeah, dude, we're gonna get into it. We are gonna get into it. And I will say this: I did watch the first Friday the 13th yesterday. I was in and out. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see the whole thing. It's kind of hard for me to lay somewhere and not doze off every now and then. But I did watch. I did get a lot of good information from that. A few ideas I have, and potential directions they could go. From watching that, and just some theories. Whether they'll use anything like that, I don't know. But it's still fun to come up with theories. What's up, Jacob? Good to see you here, my friend. Oracle 684 is in the chat saying, good morning. I just finished like a 10-minute walk. There's some awesome news. She actually signed on. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that too. We are going to talk about that as well. Did I get everybody talking? I think I got everybody talking. Let's see. Mr. Rick is saying, Michael, I have a question. I just watched Pumpkinhead 1, 2, and 3. Is it me or is it 2 out of canon? It doesn't seem to fit the storyline. Big Daddy Pumpkinhead, what? Dude, here's the thing about Pumpkinhead. I love the original. I do. I love the original Pumpkinhead. It's fun. Anything after that, I've probably seen once in my life and never went back to. So you want to talk about the original Pumpkinhead? I can do that all day. Anything after that, man, I'm going to need to do some studying for sure. I don't even think I can talk about Pumpkinhead 2 or 3, to be honest. But I do love the first one, my man. I do love the first Pumpkinhead. Michelle's in the chat saying, hi, I guess you're okay to do the show. It's debatable. She said, go to bed, Michael. I'm in bed all day. I'm going to take this fine hour or this hour to hang out with you fine people today. I'm going to give myself that as a freaking treat for sure. So I'm going to give myself that. But thank you. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. All right. So today I want to talk a little bit about Friday the 13th. And, it was mentioned in the chat. I think it was Oracle that said so, that, Linda Cardellini has officially signed on. She has. So in case you didn't know, there's a lot of people that are saying, well, Velma from Scooby-Doo is going to be the next Pamela Voorhees. She has done a lot of stuff, outside of Scooby-Doo. And, she was in the Case of La Llorona. She was in Grandma's Boy is the one that sticks out to me the most. Okay. I'm sorry, but she was Samantha in Grandma's Boy. That to me, like I that's where I recognize her the most from. Granted, I know she was in the Avengers, she was Hawkeye's wife and that's fine. She can carry herself in any group of actors. You know what I mean? Like she can carry herself anywhere, whether it be comedy, whether it be horror, whether it be action, hell, whether it be a Marvel movie, she can do it. So, that's one of the things that I can't stress enough, that it is very important. It's very important that she can hold her own under any of the circumstances. So that's one of the things that makes me so happy. And I think that she's going to absolutely kill it, man. I do. I think that she's going to be great in that role. I think we're going to get to see her do something that we haven't quite seen her do, or hell, even seen anyone do since the 2009 remake, in a very small amount in the 2009 remake. And then you've got to go all the way back to Betsy Palmer, in the original, and in part 2, where she came back for the little sequence there where Jenny's, pretending to be her. So I can't wait to check her out, in that role. I think it's a good start for them. I am curious on who else they're going to cast and, what direction they're going to go. But I do have a few ideas with that. Let me catch up on the chat here as well too, and we'll get into some of that because I can't wait to talk about some of that. You know, watching the first Friday the 13th yesterday, I was just sitting there like, you know, I'm not one of those people that does that. I'm not one of those people that are like, well, if you look at it from this angle and you think about it in this way, while you look at it in a mirror from a corner standing across the room, it does look like this. I'm not that type of person. You know, I don't do shows like that. I don't do shows to where it's like, if you bend your imagination in 9 different ways and look at it from this direction, it could happen. No. But with this, you know, I may have taken some liberties to say, hey, you know, this could be a possibility, an angle they could possibly use to work in something in this little area here. So I did do a little bit of that yesterday. Just a little bit. Let's see. Lydia's saying I'm still in bed. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Wish I was there too. Oh, let's see. Oh, you guys are a trip. Val is saying I loved her in Grandma's Boy. Hell yeah. Yeah, I love Grandma's Boy. Grandma's Boy was the shit. Like that's one of my favorite like it's probably top 10 comedies for me all time. It is. And more nostalgia than, you know, it actually being a great movie, but I absolutely loved it for sure. Michelle saying I have to get back to work, and a few just was coming on to say, hey, well, I appreciate you coming by and saying, hey, I definitely appreciate. Always good to see you here. Always good to see you here. All right. So here's what I want to start off with this. Okay. This is what my sick brain was looking at yesterday and thinking, okay, this is a possibility. This is something that can be done. This is a direction they could go. So we know, right, in the opening of Friday the 13th, the first thing we get in the opening is we get it. It goes back and it says, you know what? This is Camp Crystal Lake, 1958. This is 1 year after Jason has drowned. And they kind of give us a little bit of a, you know, they're setting the setting, and, you know, you get the first kill of the Friday the 13th franchise. And we know from the opening of the movie that this happens in 1958. So at this point in the Friday the 13th storyline, we have Jason's death in 57. And then we have a revenge. You know, we don't know it's revenge then, but we do know to that point that, you know, 2 of the camp counselors are killed the following year. So Camp Crystal Lake not having a good decade at this point, right? They're not having a good decade. But the thing is, it was 1958, and this movie came out in 1980, right? After that, you know, you get the credits. It brings it to the present, right? So you have 1958 to 1980. We're going to assume that the present is 1980 at this point. So we have, what is that? 22 years? 22 years of absolutely nothing. But, you know, we get the opening sequence. You know, we get all of that, and we start to see, you know, Annie. But throw another Annie in these movies, right? We have Annie who's walking to find Camp Crystal Lake. You know, she is on her way there, and you're kind of getting a sense that, okay, it's been 22 years since anything's happened up there, and they're gonna reopen, you know, the camp up there. They're gonna reopen it, but there are little things that I noticed, and again, like I said, this could be looking at it through a window, under a door, around a corner, maybe wanting to see things that aren't there. But wouldn't you find it, if something like that happened 20 some odd years ago, okay, 2 people were killed, you know, a boy drowned the year before, okay, so the boy drowning, okay, that's an accident, you know, that's how your brain kind of processes it. 2 people killed, yeah, that's kind of an issue. But it was 22 years ago. When she goes into that cafe and she asks about Camp Crystal Lake. The way the people look at her, right? Not like, oh yeah, there was an accident and something happened up there. No, they looked at her as if more shit has gone down than that.
Excuse me, how far is Camp Crystal Lake from here?
It goes dead silent, and they all look at her like, are you shitting me? Like you're going up there? To me, that is not the look of something that there was an accident and then, 2 murders happened 20 some odd years ago. To me, that was a look of, that's not a place people go, because more than once or twice, some shit has gone down. And every time we go up there, or anytime anyone goes up there, something bad happens. Well, you have that 22-year gap that you can play with. You can play with that with the new show. To me, you started after the 1958 killing. I guess you would say the killing. It's horrible vocabulary. I'm sure there's a much better way I could have described it than that. But you start the show there, and you have so many possibilities this can go, right? So many different ways that you can go with this. And if you pay attention, to Annie's ride up there with Enos. God, I love that name, Enos. I got to figure out what to do with that name, because the name Enos is just fucking awesome. But she's in the truck ride with Enos, and he talks about it. He talks about there being more than, one thing that went on up there, and other ways that you can kind of explore that if you want to stay in continuity with the original movie, that is, because a lot of people talk about, this is a reboot, this is a remake, this is a prequel, but, there are possibilities and avenues to, ways to go with this to where you could stay within the continuity of Friday the 13th.
Did Christie tell you about the 2 kids murdered in 58? Huh? Boy drowning in 57? A bunch of fires? Nobody knows who did any of them. In 1962, they was going to open up. The water was bad. Christie will wind up just like his folks, crazy and broke.
Fires, right? Poisonous water. Like, there's so many different things, and there's more things that he probably didn't mention, or in the storyline, if you are to jump into this, he's not going to mention everything. So there's other things that could have happened at this point. So many different things that could have happened. And it's all kind of right there if you want to use it. That's if they want to use that. It is a possibility. It is definitely a possibility. Aaliyah said, if I'm asked about location, the whole room looked at me like that, I'd be saying, never mind, picking a different vacation spot. And that's true. You know what I mean? Like, it is. Like, there's the way that everybody stopped. The whole fucking room stopped. And of course, I can't put the whole clip up there because YouTube will have a fit. And, YouTube and I don't really agree on a lot of things when it comes to clips like that, even though they are for purposes like this. They still don't like it. So, I did throw up a little bit about that. And that's the thing. Like, that's one of the things I wanted to communicate with you guys about this. It is so, to me, the reaction is so much more than there was an accident and 2 people were killed 22 years ago. That's what I'm saying with that. I definitely feel like there's more to it than that, or potentially there could be, right? Not saying that there is, and we should look at all the, it's a possibility, something they can look at with the show for sure. Jerry has, I almost said Gary. I'm sorry, Jerry. Jerry has gifted 1 Movies and Beyond membership. Thank you for that, Jerry. Thank you so much for that. You have no idea what that means to me. You are the man for sure. Thank you 100 times, my friend. Val is saying, please make sure you hit that like button. Yes, hit that like button. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so. I appreciate it. Let's see here. And Val is agreeing, right, Lydia? I would be heading back home. Yeah, and it just seems like, and it could just be, an overreaction to set, the atmosphere of the movie. And 99% that's what it was, especially making the movie. And they filmed it, what, 79? I'm sure if Peter's still in the chat, he'll correct me if that's wrong. But it's like, we need to build this atmosphere that is a place, not to mess around. That's fine and good, but it's also something you could still use current day, to be like, well, they did kind of overreact there. Let's explain why. Let's explain why they overreacted for sure. And Lydia says literally like, all right, let's try again, different time. Yeah, it's truth. It's 100% true. And then you look at Crazy Ralph, right? That's another character I want to bring up. And I don't have a Crazy Ralph clip. I know that you guys, I probably should have did that, but I mean, we've all seen Crazy Ralph. Was Ralph always crazy? Or is there something in that town that made him crazy? Or is there something at Camp Crystal Lake that made him crazy? Ralph is a bike riding motherfucker. I will say that. She had to catch 2 different car rides to get to Camp Crystal Lake from that town. And you see Ralph just fucking, you're all doomed. And he jumps on that old ass bike, which probably looked even old for the time, and just starts fucking pedaling and goes all the way to the camp. I mean, to me, that's a hell of a bike ride. At least it seems that way from, her trip up there. What makes him so crazy? That he knows that place, there's something going on in that place, but yeah, he's still going to pedal his ass all the way up there. He's going to still pedal his ass all the way up there, and he's going to just hide in a closet and be like, dude, he's going to come out like, I'm a messenger of God. It's like, holy shit. Watching that again yesterday, there are just little parts of that to where it's just like, you gotta be shitting me right now. Like, you gotta be shitting me. Like, this guy. Crazy Ralph, I don't think as a character, I myself have given him enough credit as such a beast character for Friday the 13th. Like, when he comes out of that closet and he has that look on his face, he's like, I'm a messenger of God. I'm sitting there watching that like, holy shit, I forgot about this part. This shit is fucking crazy. But then again, it's Ralph. It's fucking crazy Ralph. All I'm saying is there was a lot of things that if you look at the first movie, there's potential for. There's potential looking at the original series and being able to play with that timeline. And I wonder which route they're going to go. I know I've talked in the past about, well, do you want to include Jason in the beginning? Like, do you want to start off the series? Like, I always said this, like, you're going to want to pull your audience in. You're going to want to pull them in. They haven't seen Jason since 2009. We're in 2025 at this point. So, I mean, we're 15 years plus. Do you start off the show with like Jason chasing somebody and maybe he looks away and he gets like a flashback and it kind of goes back in time? Do you pull in the audience with some Jason Voorhees at the very beginning and it's kind of like the story's told through him like staring at a log or something? Like he's just looking over like, oh, that log reminds me of the time they pushed me in the water, and it goes back to whenever, back to that time frame. I mean, that's kind of far-fetched. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Then again, I want to see Jason. I do. I want to see grown hockey mask Jason like on the first day. Will we get that? Probably not. But I mean, you guys know how I am with Friday the 13th. I can sit here and talk about this shit all day. Well, maybe not today, because I feel like I'm kind of dying, a little bit here, but I just feel like the possibilities are kind of endless with what you can do with this. There are so many little things in that first movie that give you directions that you can go with this for sure. Val said Crazy Ralph is awesome. Crazy Ralph, there's a lot of potential in that character. There's a lot more potential in that character. I think that they can. I'd like to see how Crazy Ralph became so crazy. I don't feel like he was born that way. I don't think he came out like doomed. I feel like something went down. Something went down. Paula says, love Crazy Ralph. I do too. You know, he definitely has his place in the Friday the 13th history for sure. Val said seeing Jason is a must. You can hope. You can definitely hope. Jamie says theory. Ralph was once in love with Pamela, but she rejected him. He knew that she had lost her mind after losing Jason. So he drank out of depression. He tried to warn others that she's crazy. It's a possibility. It is. I'd love to know where Elias fits in all of that. I know that we don't talk about Elias too much on this show, but I'd love to know where he fits in all that. And I feel like with this show, you kind of have to mention Elias for sure. And what's up, Jamie Hart? I hope you're doing well, my friend. I hope you're feeling better. Good to see you here for sure. But I mean, definitely, like maybe he did fall in love with Pamela. I don't know. I don't know if Pamela's Pamela. Like she is. She is. God, I just think of her in the movies. You know what I mean? And it's just like, whew, she would definitely be something else. She would definitely be something else. Val loves that theory. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. It is definitely a theory for sure. I feel like again, like it I don't know how deep I want them to go into Elias and Jason and Pamela and that whole family dynamic that they had, but I feel like they're gonna have to do something with it. I don't know. Throwing Crazy Ralph in the mix as a third wheel, or maybe Elias is already gone and Crazy Ralph's trying to jump in there. I don't know. That's when he's still Ralph and not Crazy Ralph yet. Or you think she does something to him, drives him mad. It's not just love, but she like, oh God, there's so many possibilities. She's crazy. She is freaking crazy. She is absolutely nuts. But I mean, that's something to look at too. I mean, all the characters are there. How many of them they'll use, I have no idea. I mean, for all we know, this story's already written, you know, and they have an idea, and this could be going a totally different direction. But I think as fans, as 80s slasher fans, as Friday the 13th fans, you know, we want to see that familiarity. God, I can't believe I said that word somewhat correctly. That's a word that I always struggle with. But we do want to see what's familiar to us, you know, the fans. We do want to see a little bit of that, you know, familiar, and to just really see more of this character and how crazy, you know, she can be. Like, seriously. Val says at some point they're going to have to get into the family dynamic. I agree. I do. But here's something that's very, very important to me. I don't want to. Now, I know Jason's not Michael, and mystery is not as big of a thing as it is with Halloween for me. But at the same time, I don't want to be too familiar. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to get to the point to where it's like, oh, that's Jason from down the street. You know what I mean? Like, I do think they need to get into some of the family dynamic. Maybe something along the lines of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, not the same at all, but just a little bit of familiarity. You know, I can't say the word, but you know what I'm trying to say. Just a little bit of that. You know, it's tough. It's tough because I think that you teeter a line getting too familiar with that. I mean, look at that movie, freaking was it Leatherface? The origin of Leatherface when that movie came out. If you're a fan of that movie, good for you. But to me, that movie was god awful. You know, I don't want anything like that. For the love of God, please no. Good God, But I see what you're saying, Val. Like they do have to establish story. They do have to just toe that, walk that line and just stay in your lane. Like it's a tough thing. I wouldn't want that job, right? I definitely would not want that job. Lydia says, I'd love to see Norma Bates and Pamela Voorhees arguing about their kids having a fight on the playground. Whew. I'm not breaking that fight up. Like, seriously. And I'm not talking about the kids on the playground either. I am talking about Norma and Pamela. You know what I mean? Like, no. You're dealing with a whole different type of crazy there. I'm sorry. I'm not jumping in the middle of that. That's not happening. We're gonna let these two tucker themselves out. Like, seriously. Val is saying, my hopes they focus on Pam and Jason. I mean, yeah. I mean, just reading that comment, Val, I had like 30 things just run through my mind. You guys, those of you who know me, just outside this channel knows that I am I'm an overthinker. Okay, I am, and it's something that I'm working on. It's something I've been working on for years. But when you say that, I just got flashes of like 90 different freaking scenarios with that, Val, and I'm gonna have to open all of that eventually. Not right now, but yes, it is definitely there's definitely a lot there for sure. Jamie says, high school. Popular Elias gets Pamela preggers. Elias left Pamela because back then, out of wedlock pregnancies were looked down upon. Ralph loved her, but she rejected him. So Pamela was all alone, and all she had was her son, Jason. Jason meant the world to her. She became a cook at a camp where he drowned because the counselors were having sex and not watching him. They should have been watching him. Yeah, I see it. When in story mode there. Jamie, I love it. Definitely love it for sure. Mr. Rick said, go get him, cuz. Oh my God, dude. That's not the movie I'm talking about, but that was another moment in Texas Chainsaw Massacre history that I just, get him, cuz. Oh my God. Literally wanted to bang my head against a brick wall. The first time I saw that. I mean, what are we doing here? I know we're talking about Friday the 13th, but I feel like this, Mr. Rick, this is brought up very well brought up. What are we doing here with this? Right? Get him, cuz. Oh my God. So good. Yeah, kind of living that life. For sure. Paula says, I love Linda Cardellini. Yeah, I mean, she's done a lot of good stuff. I love the choice. And I think, like we talked about a little bit earlier, I think that she has acted in so many different types of roles that I don't think that this is going to be hard for her at all. And I think that she is going to come crazy, and that's what we want. And I think that she's going to do a fantastic job with this. I'm very pleased with this casting for sure. Mr. Rick putting it in there. Lydia says, I'm a TCM sequel apologist, but even that line took me the fuck out. I don't know who in their right mind greenlit that dialogue. Look, here's the thing. It's horrible, right? Like, you're right, Lydia. Like that. Like I always say, I think we were talking about this like a year or two ago, Lydia, and I was just like, that was the line I brought up from the Texas Chainsaw, and I was just like, afterwards. But at this point, do you think it's better that it exists than doesn't? I mean, we wouldn't be laughing about it right now. I mean, there isn't a moment in time where I see something Texas Chainsaw Massacre and that line does not pop through my head. There's not. Literally. We'll be at Scarefest. Like, hey, it's Leatherface. I'm like, get him, cuz. You know, it doesn't matter if it's Gunnar Hansen standing there in front of me. He had nothing to do with that. Granted, R.I.P. Gunnar Hansen. But it's still going through my head. You know, I'll finally meet Andrew Bernarski one day. To me, favorite Leatherface of all time. In the back of my mind, I'll be like, get him, cuz. You know, like it's just there. It's stuck for me for Texas Chainsaw forever. Like that almost. Did you guys ever watch Friday Night Lights, Texas Forever? It's like, you know, Texas Chainsaw Forever. Get him, cuz. You know, like that's literally in my brain for life. Like, Mr. Rick, I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad you brought that up. Lydia says, I hope that girl does conventions. I'm going to get her to sign an 8x10 with Get 'em Cuz and gift it to you for Christmas. It'll be cherished. I'll put it in a frame. I'm telling you. I mean, how many, like, in all honesty, I haven't seen that movie in years. Last time we did, Matt and I ranked Texas Chainsaw Massacre probably two and a half years ago. That was the last time I watched that movie. In all honesty, I do not even remember what she looks like. I would have to go back and watch that movie at this point. The way that my brain is, you know, it processes information very quickly. But then it has like this, I'm rocking a 78 model, okay? I don't have the hard drive space that you newer people have. So my brain does my brain does all, you know, my recycling bin empties on its own. Okay, like if there's information in my brain that I no longer need, my brain decides, you know, without me, we're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna get rid of this, which makes me worried about getting older. Because maybe I'm gonna go on autopilot and start deleting shit that I actually need. Like I'll go to the mall one day to get a slushie and forget where I live. It's a possibility. It's just how my brain works. Can't freaking help it. Let's see. Doesn't Matt love that Godfrey? I don't think that we've talked about it in 2 years and some change. Probably definitely something to bring up with him, for sure. Next time I'm up at the shop, I'll just throw that out there. I'm like, get him, cuz, and see how he reacts to it. You know, like it might be my opening line next time I come to the shop. Mr. Rick is saying spoilers ahead. I heard they wanted Laurie Metcalf as an older Jason's mom. I hope not. She's a great actress. She was good as Billy's mom, but she's also playing Ed Gein's mother. I think it'd be too much. She'll always be Jackie to me. You know, like I liked Scream 2, and I know a lot of people didn't, for whatever reason. I definitely I really like Scream 2. But it's Jackie. I'm sorry. It's Jackie. It's Jackie. Like Laurie Metcalf to me, like granted, you know, you watch Big Bang Theory, she's Sheldon's mom. She was fantastic in that. But to me, growing up as a kid, you know, Roseanne was on every single day. And Laurie Metcalf will always be Jackie to me. Like to me, Jackie was the funniest character in that series. Like her relationship with her mother in that series was absolute freaking gold. I'm sorry. So every time I see her, it's hard for me to take her in a serious role to where I would feel like I was in any danger. Like I look at Jackie and I'm just like, it's a place of love for me. You know what I mean? Like literally is a place of love for me. Like, oh, it's Aunt Jackie. And I felt the same way with Scream 2. You know, it's like, oh, it's Aunt Jackie. You know, she's in this movie. I don't know, man. I don't know. Val said, Rick, they're making an Ed Gein movie. You know, I didn't know that. I did not know that either. I didn't. Interesting. You know, when I was in the military, I was deployed to Alaska. We were building a road on an island in Alaska. And I'll never forget, this was the first time I heard of Ed Gein. And one of the people that lived in we lived in these little wooden shacks in the mountains. We called them hooches. And we lived in these things, and we were up there for months. And this dude, he's always reading this fucking book. And I'm like, man, what book are you reading? Like, what book is that? And he's like, it's a book on Ed Gein. And I'm like, who's that? You know, granted, how old was I? 20 years old at the time. And I'm like, who's that? He's like, oh, he was a serial killer, this, and this. I was like, well, that's cool. He goes, well, I'm almost done. I'll let you read it when I'm done. You know, at that age, I'm like, well, shit, I ain't reading this book. You know what I mean? That thing looks like the Bible. I'm not reading this book. He gave it to me. I read that entire book. It was so interesting. And that's the first I've heard of Ed Gein. And then, you know, always being a horror fan, you know, I then later learned about the connections to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and stuff like that. And it was just, I was probably late to the game, and I'm telling people stuff they already know. Like, hey, did you know that Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Ed Gein, you know, that's loosely based off, you know, but I'll never forget reading that book. Like, it's probably the biggest, at that point in my life, it was the thickest book I ever read, for sure. Mr. Rick is saying, same here, Michael. She's always going to be my Aunt Jackie. Yeah. It's for people in my age range, and maybe people even younger, maybe people even older, like, hell, maybe you watched Roseanne on syndication at that point. You know, there's just something about Aunt Jackie that's so relatable to every person like in the world. Seriously. Val's agreeing with that. James has entered the chat. The shape is in the chat. What's up, James? My man. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well, sir. I hope you are doing well. Let's see. Mr. Rick is saying, yes, Val, it's going to be another season of Netflix monsters. Nice. Nice. That is freaking awesome. Val said, I live not too far from where Ed Gein lived. Ooh, creepy. Creepy. You know, it's funny because you always think that, like, oh, I wouldn't want to be close to, you know, where this is or where that is. And then, you know, there's a lot of times that you just live close to something else that fucking happened that maybe wasn't as popular, but was equally as fucked up. You just don't know about it. Shit's crazy. Shit is fucking crazy. Val says, growing up in Wisconsin, you knew who Ed Gein was. A staple story around the campfire here in Wisconsin. I bet you did. I mean, when I read that book, God, that was 25 years ago plus. We'll just say that. You know, there's way more than I've forgotten way more, you know, than I remember with that. But I mean, that story had me hooked. Like, I thought it was just crazy town for sure. So I can only imagine. Jamie said Roseanne was a staple in my house. My mom used to call me Becky because I'm sorry. Call me Becky because whenever I was mad at her, I'd call her mother. You know, I get it. I get it. You know, I always felt bad for her. I always felt bad for fucking DJ. Like, DJ didn't get no love. Like, he was just he was there. Like, you know, like DJ, there's just so much going on there for sure. James said, I just woke up, stayed awake most of the night, finally got my butt out of bed. James, what are you doing, man? It is 12:14. It is 12:14. Time to get up. Time to talk about some horror movies. Good to see you, my man. Mr. Rick said, I grew up 2 houses away from a guy who killed his wife, and it became an NBC movie of the week. True story. That's some shit. It's like, damn, man. Like, you're 2 houses away, man. Did you get any, like, did anybody play you? I would have been asking them, like, hey, I live 2 houses down. Could I just get somebody to play me? That's crazy though, Mr. Rick. Damn NBC movie of the week. Jesus. Oh my God. Lydia said, James is a partier, man. Apparently. I can't hang. I could not hang for sure. I mean, hell, I can't stay out of bed for more than an hour and a half at a time, literally right now. I'm getting better though. I feel like I'm getting better. Like I can actually talk, which I couldn't do 2 days ago. It was so bad. But they've got me on a whole bunch of medication, so I'm hoping that it'll start working here soon, and I can be done with this because it's getting really old really fast, for sure. James said, "Hi, Lydia. It was great to see you, Horror Hound. It's always great to see you." Yeah, man. I hope you guys had fun at Horror Hound this year. I wasn't going either way, but I didn't expect for COVID to jump on my face Thursday night. That was a pleasant surprise. It's like, hey, you're not going anyway. Well, guess what? You're not going anywhere, motherfucker. Here, have COVID. Oh my God. Wasn't expecting that one. Hell, even if I wanted to go, I couldn't go. Oh, I need to ask about that. How long were you guys in Linda Blair's line? How long was that line? I can imagine. I mean, she had to be top horror draw there, right? She had to be. Paula said the TV show Monitor you focus on Ed going for season 3. Oh, cool. Oh, Monster. Yes. You're going to Scarefest, right? You know it, Jamie Hart. I will be at Scarefest. If I can't walk, I'll be at Scarefest. Matt and Lydia will be dragging me in a freaking Red Baron wagon like we had in the 80s. Even if I can't walk, I'll be at Scarefest. I mean, they don't know they're dragging me yet, but I'll be at Scarefest no matter what. That's happening. I got my tickets already. I'm good. Lydia says Linda Blair was damn near 3 hours late to her table, so the line wasn't moving, period, until almost 7 p.m. when the con opened at 4. Oh, ouch. Each. Well, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't her intention to be, late. And I am happy that Horror Hound was able to get her, because it gave them a horror icon draw, right? I mean, up until that point, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I wanted Horror Hound to have. I understand this, and this is something I actually. You'll be so proud of me. I made a post on Facebook about, which I don't ever do. But I saw that a lot of people were hating on Horror Hounds, and here's what I said. I said that I was not a fan of the lineup. I wasn't, but that's not the only reason people go to conventions. I talked to a couple friends. I had a buddy call me. He's like, "Hey man, come on down. I've got an extra ticket." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm dead. Like I'm dying. Like I can't. Like I literally, I can't." And I was like, "There's really nobody I want to meet." And he goes, "Yeah, me neither." He goes, "But I don't come here for that. I come here to hang out with friends, and I come to just have a good time, and that's cool as shit, because I think that a lot of times, people get caught up in, and myself included, people get caught up in who's gonna be there, what celebrity is gonna be there that I don't have on my poster that I need to complete my poster of the. Sometimes it's not about that. And what I posted on Facebook was, so many people were bitching about, they were saying the Terrifier cast was shitty. And I had to jump in and say, look, I met the Terrifier cast more than once. And they've been nothing but amazing every time I freaking talk to them. I said, if you don't like the lineup, fine. Don't like it, move on to the next one. But if you do like the lineup, I hope that you have an absolute blast and it's everything you want it to be. That was easy. You know what I mean? Like, I think that people get so wrapped up in everything's got to be this, or this, that they sometimes forget that, hey, this is supposed to be fun. Now, does that mean that I take back what I said earlier about, them celebrating the 20th anniversary and not really having their stuff together? No. But I'm not gonna sit here and harp on about it and try to put down the people that had a good time either, right? I have my own little things with Horror Hound that I wish they would do better, and that's fine. But I'm not gonna project that onto other people in mass social media audience, right? For sure. So I am glad that they got Linda Blair there, and I am happy that the people who wanted to meet her, that got to meet her, had a good time with it for sure. Russell saying, "What's up, everyone?" What's up, Russell? What is going on, my man? I hope you are doing well. He said, "Sorry, I was at work and I heard Linda Blair's line was very long." Dude, like she was the main draw. She was the main draw. Lydia said, apparently she was just at her hotel. Well, she had to make sure that she looked right. I mean, I'm gonna sit here and make excuses for Reagan, but just saying. James said it took 3 hours, but it was worth it. Hell yeah, man. I once spent 6 hours in a line for Robert Englund. I'll never do that again. Jerry's gifted another Movies and Beyond membership. Jerry, you are the man. Thank you so much for that, my friend. Thank you. Let's see. Jamie said, I got a room at the Marriott 2 blocks from the venue. We'll have to hang out and have dinner. Hell yeah. Yeah, so I usually stay at the Hyatt, right next door. So I'm always there. It is the Hyatt, right? I've only been staying there for like the last 5 years. The Hyatt that's connected to it. So I'm right there. We'll be staying there. So yeah, definitely link up while we're down there for sure. Definitely for sure. I go down there Thursday, and I come back Sunday night. I always go down there the day before so I can get my wristband and stuff the day early. And then usually Lex across the street has like the horror trivia Thursday night, and all those little things. And usually some of the celebs will pop in there and play the trivia too. So it's fun. I think last year I barely made it to trivia. But the Thursday night, hold on. But the Thursday nights are always fun because it's before everybody else gets down there. So last year I went to horror trivia. I caught a little bit of that, and then I went to the Hyatt and I got a drink and a sandwich. And I was sitting in a bar with Felissa Rose and Kane Hodder. So you don't have all the fans there yet, so a lot of people will go out, the night before. And it's super fun. So yeah, I'm usually there Thursday through Sunday night, and yeah, we'll definitely make that happen for sure. Lydia said she was hours late all 3 days, and people were. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here trying to stick up for Reagan, and you're not making it easy, Lydia. I'm sitting here trying. Freaking trying. Oh my God. James said, I love seeing the vendors. I got a handmade Michael Myers figure. It looks awesome. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Lady says she is, and people didn't have to wait in line for hours for her to show up. I just thought it was odd. I never seen a guest do that. She wanted to build the tension, right? She wanted to build the tension so she could make her appearance and everybody could cheer as she came in. Russell said, I hope you're feeling better, Michael. Drink plenty. Dude, I am doing everything I can do, for sure. COVID sucks, man. This is my first time with COVID. I made it 5 years without getting it, and it finally got me. And it didn't disappoint. Like, it literally dropped a shit ton of bricks on me for sure. Mr. Rick said, I'm planning to go to a Horror Hound next March if they come back. They'll come back. There's also one in September. I'm hoping September, still part of the 20th anniversary, that they'll do some cool shit. I'm hoping, but we'll see. Jerry said Horror Hound is September 20th anniversary. Hell yeah, man. I should have just read one line down. James says 6 hours. That's a lot. My poor ankles would blow. Dude, I was pissed. Like, literally, it was my first time meeting Robert. It was at Mad Monster in Arizona. It's when I went to the premiere of Dylan's New Nightmare. And I got in line. I would say about an hour and a half line. I was in. I was perfectly happy. But everybody that had a ticket better than mine, they let walk past me. I was freaking livid. I literally, my 1.5 hour wait turned into 6 hours. And when I got there, I finally got him to sign something. I didn't even care. Like, I was just like, yeah, just sign it. Like, I don't even want to talk to you. Like, literally, I didn't have anything to really say other than I just stood in line for 6 hours. Jamie said, we're getting there Thursday too. Awesome. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. James is saying, I would love to go to Scarefest. I don't like the long drive. Well, man, I mean, it's like an hour and a half. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's not like a 5 or 6 hour deal. Lydia said, I think September is going to actually be their all out. I heard from staff at the con that March was just the anniversary for their magazine, but September is the actual con anniversary. And, you know, I'm going to look at it as half full and not go the half empty route by saying, yeah, I would say that too if my event turned out like that after I promised so much more than what I delivered. But I'm not gonna do that. I would be reaching for any out that there is, and I would probably trust no one at this point. I would be like, show me, you know what I mean? Like, it's like having that friend that lies to you, to where it's just like, yeah, you know, you lied to me. I understand. But I'm definitely going to have to see the next thing before I believe it for sure. But yeah, I literally think like, don't worry, guys. We promised you this, and this time, but actually, we had this plan the whole time that we knew it was gonna. No, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. James is saying I had COVID twice. The crap is awful. It took me 3 weeks to get better, dude. Here's the thing that sucks the most, and I will tell you the truth. Taste. I can't taste anything. It sucks. My favorite foods taste like nothing, and then I get this metallic aftertaste that tastes horrible. The only thing working for me right now is tea, that doesn't give me a shitty aftertaste. I had a Whopper Jr. the other day. I had a Whopper Jr. delivered. I was so excited to eat it. I took a bite into it. It was absolutely nothing, literally nothing. And then the aftertaste of it, it tasted horrible, like literally tasted horrible. And then yesterday I had potato soup delivered from Chili's. I love Chili's potato soup. I was so excited about that, and it just tasted like warm nothing, like literally. I mean, I was hungry, so I ate it, but it was just horrible. It was absolutely terrible. Makes me want to cry, James. Makes me want to cry right now, live on YouTube. Lydia says fair. Yeah, I mean, show me, you know, like, let me see it. Tell me, you know, you keep telling me I'm pretty, you know, but let me see it. Jamie says it's a 7-hour drive to Scarefest for me. I love the drive. Lovely landscapes and plenty of roadside stops if you take the right route. And that's the thing too. Like, I'm not sure exactly where you're coming from, Jamie, but the fact that you do make the trip, and I know that you do make it every year for this, you know, for the most part, goes to show you how good the event is, and how worth, you know, the trip is for this event. It's quickly becoming the Super Bowl of horror in the US horror conventions. Right now, the only rival I see for Scarefest is Halloween H50 in 2.5 years, to where that's going to drop in October, and I'm going to have to make some decisions, because I literally think that they're probably going to drop within a week of each other. And it's just like, do you do the once in a lifetime and go to H50 in Pasadena, California? Or do you go to Scarefest? It's like, just the idea of me missing a Scarefest, I don't like it. But at the same time, if I got to choose, I'm probably going to Pasadena for sure. But that'll be the only Scarefest. And if they're on different weeks, I'm going to make it to both. I may not spend a whole lot of money, but I'm going to make it. Might be sleeping in my car at Scarefest, but it's all good. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Oh, are you talking about the food? Yeah. It's tragic. Like, literally. Like, I love to eat. I do. Even when I'm sick, I like to eat. But at this point, I've lost any want to eat anything. I'm hungry right now. I would love like a donut, but I know I'm not going to be able to taste it. So why tease myself? Val said, absolutely go to H50. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime deal. I mean, literally, that's bucket list shit. I mean, that is bucket list shit. Like, seriously. That's something I've been planning for the last 3 years. Just slowly putting a little H50 money away. Still got 2.5 years. Man, like if you tried to buy tickets to Scarefest, if you tried to get VIP tickets this year, you know how that went. I can only imagine that H50 is going to be the same way. And I'm literally going to have to be sitting there at 11:59 with as much as they'll let me fill out pre-forms and just ready to click a button to buy. Like literally. James said, I know that shit. It robes your taste buds. It drove me crazy not being able to taste pizza. Yeah, dude, it sucks. Like, literally, I can't taste anything. It's not just pizza. I had when I went, what was it? The day before. When the hell did I do this? I ended up getting Tom and Chi, and I was like, I want some tomato soup and a grilled cheese. I was like, this was before I realized that my taste was gone. I started eating the tomato soup, and I was like, this is the blandest tomato soup I've ever had in my entire life. It's like, how do they call this tomato soup? Like, there's no taste to it whatsoever. And I started biting the grilled cheese, and I'm like, wait, what are the odds that neither of these two have any taste? Yeah. I ate a sour cream and onion chip, and I couldn't taste that either. I was like, oh, this is just fantastic. Bob Evans has some great potato soup. Dude, I've never had Bob Evans potato soup. Never. I will definitely try it for sure. Lydia said, yeah, I think H50 is the way to go. I mean, look, this is something I've been talking about since age 45. Got 5 years, at this point to be getting ready for this. This is something that will never happen again. There are celebrities, Halloween, icons that will be there that we'll probably never see again after this, at any cons or anything like that. This is in the place where they filmed most of the movies. It is just, this is a must for me. Like, this is happening. Like, I will not miss H50. I will do what I have to do to make that happen. Jamie said, my husband never got his sense of smell back after having COVID twice. Never? I can still smell, but I can't taste anything. I'm sorry, Jamie. That sucks. That is terrible. Yeah, ladies, that's terrible. James is saying it would cost you an arm and a leg to go to H50. It's not the flight to get there. It's trying to find a hotel. No, dude. No. Like, all that'll be done ahead of time. If you can find a hotel room at Scarefest, you can find a hotel room at H50. Serious. 5 years. 5 years to plan for that trip. If you cannot get a hotel room with a 5-year head start, what are you even doing here? Like, seriously. You must not really want to go. What are you doing here? Lydia said, damn, I don't know, James. I've had flights as far out West Coast cost me close to $1,000. Oh, I fully intend on spending $1,000 for a plane ride out there. For sure. I don't care. That shit's fucking happening. I'm not driving. You got to be shitting me if you think I'm driving to Cali from Ohio. Lost your mind. You better connect those flights. You better hit Minneapolis, St. Paul, Seattle, then hit LA. And make it cheaper. Lydia said, and I was picking dinky flights with the worst layovers getting the cheapest flights. Yeah, I'm telling you. James says, you paid $1,000 to go out west. It cost me half to get to Seattle. Yeah, I guess it really depends on where you're going and when. I mean, seriously. But that's how all planes, are. It's when you buy the ticket. It's all of those things. Jamie Lee would be epic. Dude, let's talk about that for a minute. Could you imagine the line? Like literally, you would have to say, okay, one of my days is for Jamie Lee Curtis. I will be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. One of the days will be from when I wake up to when I leave, standing in this line. I mean, literally, like you would definitely have to do that. Would I do it one time? Yes. But I need some friends there with me. Like, we're going to have to tag in and out. You know what I mean? Like, all right, dude, you got this hour. I'm going to go meet this person. I'll come back. Then you can go meet this person. Like, literally, like that would have to happen. There's no way I can literally just stand there for 12, 13 hours. Like, I don't see myself being able to do it. Not alone, anyway. Lady says, you don't want to rent an RV, cram your friends in, and road trip out to Cali? No. Makes me think of the movie Road Trip. Did somebody kill a cheetah? It's so good. It's so good. Jamie said, I'd love to go to Cali for H50, but that would be too much for me as far as travel goes. I hate flying. I got you. For sure. James said, I would set on the wing for a cheap ticket to get there. I can see James like strapped outside with like some like Red Baron goggles on and a scarf hanging on to the freaking wing as you're you're flying there. You're sitting in your seat like this. You open the little window and you see James just holding on the side, the freaking scarf flapping and the goggles on. Oh God, that'd be awesome. I hear you, James. Mr. Rick said, sorry, I have to go. I'll watch the rest later. Until next time, I can't wait for the movie watch along. Hell yeah, my man. Hell yeah, sir. You have a good day, Mr. Rick. Mr. Rick is saying, I would like to go to Camp Crystal Lake and watch Friday the 13th. I think that'd be cool. I think that would be freaking awesome. They do have it available. It is something that you can purchase there for sure. James said an RV trip would be awesome. Just take your time and get there. Yeah, man. I'd rather jump on a plane and, like, I don't want to make this planes, trains. I don't want this to be planes, trains, and automobiles to get the H50. I just want to get on a plane and I just want to land there. I want to go to my room, take a nap, adjust to the time. You know what I mean? That's rough. Val said, I'm driving out to H50. Just drove 7,800 miles in 2 weeks period. Wisconsin to Cali is nothing. Whew. Good for you, my friend. Good for you. Jerry saying, I'll stand with you. I appreciate that, my man. For Jamie Lee. And I swear we better not stand in line for like 24 hours. And she'd be like, I'll sign one thing. I'll be like, oh, I got a trunk full of shit you're about to sign for making me wait in this line. James is saying I would look like Snoopy sitting on the wing. Yeah, man. Yeah. Lydia is saying I was literally picturing Snoopy on a Red Baron in his little doghouse. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what I saw. Only I saw, James with the goggles on, kind of hair slicked back, on the top there. Just goggles on, the scarf just flapping. It'd just be something freaking amazing. Russell saying, does Eliza Dushku do conventions? Gotta support Wrong Turn. I don't know. Not that I remember for sure. Lydia says, all right, I've got to take a shower and be mildly productive before I see the clock hit 1 p.m. I'll see you guys later. Take it easy, Lydia. Have a good one. Harry Maffordini is there. Interesting. That's Friday the 13th. Royalty right there. Oh, for sure. James is saying, got to take on the Red Baron in a real dog fight. Got to take on the Red Baron in a row. Oh, yeah, man. That's freaking amazing. That is amazing. Well, you guys, I am going to get out of here as well. for the simple fact that I need to go lay back down. I did my best. I hope that you guys enjoyed talking Friday the 13th. And then every other little rabbit hole that we went down today. I had a great time. It was great talking to you guys and hanging out. I am going to lay down and watch something and probably fall back asleep for a little while, but you guys are amazing. Thanks for hanging out with me. Is this something that you guys would like to keep doing? Let me know in the comments if you guys would like a daytime show once a week. We could probably make that happen just to catch up on horror news and all the other things that come our way. And I feel like it was mildly successful with me not feeling so well. Sorry, I had to pause the mic every now and then to cough, but hopefully that'll get better. And with that being said, let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Toodaloo, motherfucker.
Hey, you